Hi guys, Gilly Hunt here with a little hello friend note card on a golfing theme. I hope you like it. I took some of my inspiration from a swap that I did quite a long while back now, and I don't have it anymore, so I can't be absolutely certain, but I think it was Martin Stone who did the original design that I took the idea from. But as I say, it was quite some time ago, and I just carried that idea forward. So thank you, Martin, if it was you, and if it wasn't, who cares? Let's give him a shout out because he's a great designer and deserves the shout. So Martin Stone. Okay, so here goes. This is my take on this card anyway. So the first thing we're going to need is a base notelet card. And the notelet card is 5 inches by 3.5 when it's folded. So of course you will need it to be 7 by 5 folded in half to make the 3.5 by 5, and this is in Whisper White. I've also got another piece of Whisper White which is 3 by 3 inches, and the golf piece of paper is 4 3/4 by 3 1/4 to allow just a tiny little gap around the edge. Okay, so those are your measurements for your various papers. I'll take those away and we'll come back to those in a moment. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to make our little accompaniments for here. Okay, so we're going to take a little piece of vellum, which is what we've made the hello from, and I have got this time, I can't remember what it was now. Oh, it's going to be a surprise. Let me see if I can read it upside down. Oh, well done, it says. So instead of being hello, I'm going to do a well done this time. And we're going to do it in Versamark ink so that we can heat emboss it. So this is the heat embossing powder, which comes in a little pot like this. And then I put it into a tray because it's just easier to scoop it and use it in a tray. Okay, so first let's just take that out of the way. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp using the Versamark. 1, 2, 3. It's very gooey, you can hear it sticking to the pad. And I've just got to make sure I get this the right way up, and we're going to put it roughly at the top. Okay, and you'll see that it's hardly there. You can just make it out. So we're now going to dip it into the tray. And if I'd been really good, I would have used an embossing buddy to make sure there was no sticky or greasy bits on this, but actually I knew there weren't because I'd done the whole piece for something else, so I knew it was static free. So there we go. Now I'm going to just take those all out of the way, and I'm going to bring the heat gun in. Let's get rid of any embossing powder. I'm going to bring the heat gun in. Here it is, and I'm going to switch it on. There's a little switch here. And as ever, I'm just going to let it warm the air for a little while until it gets really nicely warmed up. That way, when it goes onto the vellum, it's not going to curl the vellum too much, because hopefully we're hardly going to get the vellum itself hot. We're just going to get the powder melted quickly. So that I'm going to have a go now. And all I'm going to do is direct it onto the powdered areas, and you can see that's already starting to turn. Okay, and we now have our well done, nicely embossed, and it's lovely and raised, and it shows up really nicely. And I'm going to bring in my lovely new little tiny cutter, and I'm going to make sure that's nicely lined up so that we get it straight, the writing straight. And it doesn't actually matter what size this is, we're just wanting to make sure that it looks nicely clipped. Let's just make sure that's nice and lined up. Okay, and I'm going to cut a little tail on this. So I'm going to cut up the middle to about there, and then I'm going to go from the side to the middle, and from the side to the middle, and I didn't go quite far enough on that one. or that one. Okay, let's just neaten it up. I've got a tiny little piece that's not quite as neat as I would like it to be. There we go. Okay, and we now have a little tail, and this is where our tail is going to come in the middle here. So onto that tail, I'm going to bring in the word friend. Okay, and I've already cut this friend out on a die cut, and it's from the Well Said die cut range, which are fabulous. So there's the friend, there's our heat embossed image. And I am so tired. I've been playing with my daughter's lovely little new puppy today, and I'm so exhausted that my head and my mouth don't seem to be able to tie themselves together. So please forgive me if I'm forgetting words, and but I wanted to get this out for you. I've been having a few troubles with my Wi-Fi recently, and I want to keep up because otherwise I'm going to lose them. Right, now then, that's going to stick across the middle. Okay, and I've just done it a bit too much across at the back, but it won't matter. I'll just pat that a little bit to get the glue off. Okay, there we go. Well done, friend. So we'll put that to one side, and we'll bring back all our different papers. So here is the background, so we'll stick that on straight away. I'm going to do this with a little bit of wet glue, just a tiny amount. I don't need very much, just a little bit close to the edge as I can, because then we're not going to have any little sides leaping up. Now this paper's lovely because there really isn't a right way and a wrong way. It's pretty much any which way you like. Okay, and then we're going to stick the 3x3 square in the same way, just with a little piece all the way up and down the side. I want to make sure I've got all that edge covered, and a little squish across there. And this is going to go on the left hand side of the card. Okay, and I'm just going to put this on top. I'm not going to stick it down, just so that that kind of shows me roughly where it's going to be. And then I'm going to bring in a whole load of circles that I've already cut. Now I've cut these using the 3 1/4, the 1 inch, the 1 1/2 inch punch, and a stationary punch that I've had for some time that just has the normal little tiny holes that you make for a ring binder. So these are made using the ring binder punch, and the others are made using these. And I've used this time, the colours are Daffodil Delight, Blueberry Bliss and Poppy Parade, and these I've taken kind of to reflect the colours of the background. On the previous one I did it in black and white, so I thought it'd be nice to show you a coloured version and a black and white or greys version. Now the other thing I'm going to need to do is to cut, so let's just take those away. So I've done some random circles for us to use, and I've also started to cut out the golf balls, and those are perfectly designed to be cut and punched out using the 1/2 inch punch. So here goes, there we go, there's another one, and there's another one. So these are the golf balls to go with it. So the idea is balls and lots of balls and circles. Okay, and really it doesn't matter where I put these. The only thing I do want to make sure is that wherever I'm going to put this, which is going to be fairly central, I want to make sure that the colours behind it are not going to be identical, because if I put all the blues behind, I'm going to lose the writing. So I want the blues to avoid this area. So I'm perhaps going to put the blues up here, and I might actually let the blue come down so that the well done shows up. Okay, and I'm going to use perhaps some red underneath there. So we'll just literally scatter them around. I'll have a few golf balls. I'll put some little teeny ones. Oops. We'll overlap a couple because that's quite fun. How am I doing? Oh, suddenly I've gone quiet because I'm thinking, where do I put this? What shall I do with that? We'll put one there. We'll kind of go underneath and over the top, and a couple of little red ones. Maybe up there, maybe one here, because we haven't got any red in this corner. I'm not sure I want that blue one there now. So let's move the blue and a yellow one across to here. Now the only difficulty I find with this is I tend to kind of go mad and I want to put too many on and then it gets too busy. So you do have to leave a little bit of space for things to show up. But I think that's quite a decent mix and match. And it's up to you. You can put a few just over the edge to tie the backgrounds, or you can keep it all within the bounds of the square. It's quite up to you. And now all we're going to do is stick all of these down using dimensionals. And I've got a whole sheet's worth of dimensionals. So let's just take this off, trying to keep things where they are. I'm going to put a few things on dimensionals. And I'm going to put a few things flat. So let's have this one nice and flat. Okay, and they're going to move around a little bit. They're not all going to be in exactly the same place, but we'll kind of go for it as much as we can. So let's put a little dimensional behind that. I'm using the mini dimensionals for these because you only need a little mini one. And let's go for there. Let's go over the edge a little bit. Let's go a flat one. What we're trying to do is get several kind of different heights and I'm sure you don't want to spend your entire afternoon watching me sticking little spots down. So you can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to build the depth, and then the last thing I'm going to do is pop this on with a couple of dimensionals too. And that will look very like that one, but just a coloured version of it. And I hope you like that, and I hope you have a little go at that. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.